everyone. This is General Hand Grenade. Welcome to the Eagle's Nest in an undisclosed location on the outskirts of Prince George, British Columbia. I'm here with my friends and some other people at the other table. And we're at the Sky Marshall Cup, day 2. So yesterday we ended halfway through turn 11, and so we've just finished turn 11. And Germany's taken their turn on turn 12. I just wanted to catch you up here. So America came over here and they attacked Spain. So this all becomes German now, even though he hasn't switched the pieces over. The fascists have become German. That means you don't get the Blue Division anymore, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guess I should put that away.
Yeah. And also, another major development at the last half of last term is the, speaking of fascists, the Italians took the Suez Canal. They took Egypt there. Of course, last turn they had taken out the British Navy that was here. And this turn they managed to take out Lower Egypt. And they got quite a few units there too. Oh, seven infantry. And a motorized infantry. So they're doing pretty good down there. Now you're setting up Germany. You're going after Russia again, right? Mm-hmm. Are you doing many attacks?
Oh, yes. We have many convoy raids.
But I mean, in Russia there, what are you doing? Show us what you're doing.
So all the fast movers on this task force are going to be coming here and blitzing.
Here, let me just flip this up there. There we go.
This was Soviet controlled, so my slow movers are coming directly in. My fast movers will be blitzing. Still have to roll that, but with how many dice I have at 8 and 6, it should be basically a freebie. And then I am coming in to attack this here, Consolidated Forces in Teridia. I'm dropping an airborne in Donetsk Kuban. Hopefully that succeeds, and then a tiny bit of reinforcement, and then I'll have some non-com afterwards. But also on this side of the map, I'm going to be bombing this port. See if I can't slow down the American hordes that are going to be coming my way shortly. Actually, they already are coming my way, but they're going to be sending a lot more if I don't take care of that shipyard. So that is about it from Germany, from what I can see.
Okay.
I believe we're about ready to roll dice.
All right. And the Americans went on their turn as well, of course. And so they got they put a lot of units on, including that strategic bomber there in London, because they're allowed to put a unit over there due to the triumph of capitalism objective. So you can see here what he's looking like. There's these guys are all in Midway, and these guys are on the transports in Midway. This must just be on the land, or these are probably on the land. Yeah. So anyway, all this stuff's in Midway, and then you can see up there what's in San Francisco. Plus he still has this stuff down here. This airbase is going in Madrid, so he can't be so easily surrounded. Anyway, nothing's happened in Japan or anything. I'm sure KMT, they probably just put a unit or two on and that was it there. But that's all that's happened since the last video. So join us today. We're going to have lots of fun, and there's a special thing coming up later, so stay tuned. Okay, so we're heading into turn 13, July 1942. And I think it was last turn, not this past one, but the one before, that the Chinese, the communists, I think they went after this one, Sinkiang, to become adjacent to the Russians, and that meant that they rolled all of them, and the result of that was that the KMT evolved to a major power. So the KMT is now a major power, and then so Japan, they did attack a couple of territories, this one and this one. The KMT just took this one back this turn. We're in the middle of the American, well, just about the end of the American turn now. He's just putting his stuff on right now. I think you got a couple more ships here.
Yeah, I do. I'm on my way over.
Okay. And he's just come down here and taken this out. He brought him down from here. And so now he's here, which means he's one step closer to me, which means I am going to have to yank his jersey over his head and start filling him in. Maybe give him a face wash with my glove. And what's going on over here? The Japanese have finished taking all they want to take down here now. They still got to work up over here. The FEC hasn't put up much of a fight lately because they had lost Calcutta and they haven't taken it back. But so they're down to building a lot of Gurkhas, which can be a pain in the butt too. They've got the Japanese surrounded there. That's basically what's going on in Asia right now. Let's see. Yeah, nothing else has changed in Asia. So let's take a look over here. I think during the last video, I'm pretty sure they had already taken the Suez Canal, the Italians. So they're moving into the Middle East a bit there, as you can see. Trying to not to kill anything here. So yeah, the Italians are moving in this way. What else is going on? I think that yeah, there's quite the battle going on down here, although a lot less consequential. So the Americans did take this territory, which means that these guys are all Germans now. I think that might have happened before the last one. And where is the marker? So here's another big thing that's happened. First of all, the British did a Normandy landing, and then the Americans took the guys that were in Spain and came over here and they took Aquitaine. And you can see here, this is the task force marker. So lots of stuff on there. Okay. And I'll let you see here's the German task force markers. And they're both in Russia, I believe. So let's take a little closer look in here. It looks like the American turn is now over. And we'll look over here at the Eastern Front. So here's one of the Russian task force markers, and there's the other one there. And the German ones are there and there. The Russian task force markers, you can see what's on them. There's one of the Germans down there, and two more Germans over here. Oh, there's the German task force marker there. And that would be this one here. Okay. So, looks like they've taken one city here. That's it. They've only taken one of the cities. Okay. Anyway, lots going on. We're getting close over here. Let's take a look. So you can see where we are here. We just moved the calendar already to here. So not much time left before we get into the variable ending territory. And we're not even halfway through the second day, so that's pretty good. You can see this is the axis. Here, let me just get it off the glare there. Those are the axis. And here are the Allies and the Russians. I'm not going to list them all off. Not that ambitious. So that's where they are over there. Alrighty. I'm not sure if this is accurate right now. I haven't been moving it, so I can't testify to that. I know myself, the Japanese, they just gone down this turn since their last turn, but they actually collected over $50 for the first time. They weren't collecting much because they didn't go into China, but they were trying to accomplish other things, and I don't feel sad about that at all. I do have a couple of extra victory cities in my pocket right now. Anyway, that's where we are at in 1942. Gentlemen, so, as you know, you've been putting this event on for years. If it was just 1 year, then that's one thing, but Doug really appreciates what you've done for the game and making this event for what it is. So he has asked me to give you this empty box. It's not empty, there's actually something in here. But this is on behalf of all of HBG, and especially Doug. And it's for all the efforts that you've put in making such an amazing event year after year. It's one thing to put one on. You know how hard it is to put one on. But to keep that up and in the middle of a move, half of your stuff's here, half of your stuff's at the other house. Very, very difficult. So on behalf of all of HPG, thank you very much.
Thanks,
There
Brad.
you go.
Thank you.
Take a look at it.
Oh, let's take a look and see.
Question is,
It's a
can you
live hand grenade.
Yeah, boom!
drink when you do black smoke?
I'm sure you're going to find a treasured place in your war room for this.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's so cool.
Read it out.
Champion of Order, Detail, and Hospitality, honored by exemplary hosting and organizational skills in global war. Well, that is really cool.
That's awesome.
All right.
Thank you again. I appreciate that. That is,
We appreciate everything you do.
that's awesome.
So where are you going to put it?
Well, obviously, head of the table right now for sure.
Yeah?
Have to find a mount to put it somewhere in the wall.
It kind of looks like you.
Kinda.
If you had muscles
If I had
and...
more hair. So,
Anyway, good job, bud.
okay, you bet. Thanks, Brian. I
Yep.
really appreciate it.
Yep.
And thanks, Deb. Thank you guys for you guys make this thing. You know, that's why I do it. So, absolutely.
All right, let's get back to the war. Okay, so it's mid-afternoon now, and where are we anyway? Turn 14, I guess. Did we just change that?
Yep, it just went.
Oh, okay. So just went into turn 14. It's Germany's turn. So last turn, lots of big things happened. The Americans had a big navy here. Yeah, remember I showed you that there. Anyway, the Japanese came with everything they could reach, and they managed to take them out and still have 5 heavy cruisers and a loaded carrier left. So that was a big battle. Lots of casualties. And now the Americans have had one turn since then. And so they've managed to replenish a little bit, but that has knocked them back at least a turn or two from going across the water, because they're not even strong enough right now to come back, because the Japan Navy still, like they also built at the end of their turn, so they've got those, and I showed you these ones. Plus these are the ones they couldn't reach with. A couple of battleships in there. The only fighter that they have left, and lots of transports. They got tons of transports, but not many bigger ships. But they're building lots though on the build queue here. I'll show you the build queue. And plus they have Kido Butai. So I think they're going to build some capital ships this turn, or at least start them. And the battle's been raging in here and up in the north there, going back and forth between the KMT and the Japanese. And I think that they even defeated the CCP. Or no, the CCP beat them. It was a small battle though. But they're not really doing a lot of fighting in there. Just a little bit. I don't think anything's changed over here since the last time we did a video. Big battle in Kursk. So that ended with a big victory by the German player. And that knocked down the Russians quite a bit. And something needed to happen, like it was going to go one way or the other. And it, fortunately for the Axis, it went the way of the Germans. But he's not out of trouble yet because of what's going on over here. And you can see all of that Air Force and everything. And it's a constant taking of territories in France, and taking them back and taking more and taking them back and taking more and taking them back. So that's keeping the Germans busy. Otherwise, they probably would be flattening the Russians by now. I think right now what's going on here is that the Germans, with their Spanish partners, now that Spain is aligned with them, they are going after Gibraltar. And of course, if they don't get it, then then there's the Italians that can come in next turn. So that's going on. There's no American Navy to speak of over here, so everything they have is in the fight over here, and that is right there. And that's pretty big. It's pretty sizable. But the Pacific Navy definitely needs to be rebuilt, and I believe that's everything to show you here. I'll just move a little closer there so you can see what's on the task force markers. And there's the winning units on that task force marker that won that battle in Kursk. So it was pretty close in the end, but they still had all but one or two of their heavy tanks. They got the Tiger 1s and the Tigers. And also they still have some medium tanks, but they lost a few Tigers to the target selection of the tank destroyers. Anyway, so we'll come back in a while. Okay, so we're going to call it for today. This will be the last part of today's video, and not any really big changes, like lots of fighting going back and forth and back and forth. But I'll let you take a look at what's going on here. So this is the Eastern Front. Where are these guys? They're in Moscow here. So let's take a look at what he's got in Moscow. Oops. Let's just throw them around. So there we go. And over here we got the Germans, and they're in I can't remember what that's called. Oh, Smolensk, yeah. So kind of a saw-off here. Nobody's really getting the upper hand. I don't know if anybody will before the end of the game there, because we're in turn 15 and there's only one more turn before we start rolling for the variable ending. And you never know. Could go several rounds after that, or could be over in 2 rounds. We just don't know. Anyway, so let's pull back this way. You already know that the KMT was a major power. The CCP is still alive. They have taken Rihe from the Japanese. The KMT's still pretty strong. They got quite an air force there. The CCP is hanging around, and the Japanese have moved into Russia just to try and take a few dollars off to try to help their German brethren out. Now out here in the Pacific Ocean, America's starting to build up a pretty good navy. They got the heavy ship tech, so they've got a battleship in there, and they've got one of the carriers, and they've got another battleship here. So I believe these are worth 2, so they have 5 capital ships to the Japanese 2, 3, 4 on the board right now. So that's how the race for the capital ships are going, and those guys are right here, and the dudes that you see here, they're over here. They got stranded when the Japanese took out their navy, so they're just recovering now. They've recovered, and I'm sure they're probably going to go pick those guys up now. The Japanese Navy, that's what it looks like. So it's not huge. They got lots of transports. This is 7 heavy cruisers. They're really big on heavy cruisers. And then the rest of their navy is down there. So the Americans got a bigger navy now, but it's not hugely bigger. And here's what we have on the build queue over here. There's more well, I guess if you count these here, then they're pretty close to even over there. More capital ships for the Americans, of course, but they need twice as many capital ships to collect that point. The Italians have done very well. They're almost in South Africa now, and they're pretty much controlling Africa at this point, except for where the French are holding fast over here. The Med's pretty empty. There wasn't much going on. The Italian fleet was out there, but it's pulled back. So I don't know what he's going to do now. And even if I did, I'm not going to tell you, because my opponents are standing hovering over me here. But I tell you what's been really successful in this game for the Germans and for the European Axis is the convoy rating. Like there's turns where he's taking 20. Now that next turn 20.
I've been averaging 20 a turn.
Yeah, averaging 20 a turn convoy rating. So that's pretty good. And then the Americans, where's their task force marker? So it's with the British Navy there. That's where the American Navy is.
It's all in
And you
Big
see the Navy right over there. So it's pretty big. And the Germans don't have a Navy at all. They've only got a transport. So that's pretty normal. Now, Normandy here has been going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So it's British turns now because they've had the last turn. Is there Americans in there now too?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's lots of guys in there. Where is the task force marker with all that stuff? Oh, that's right there. So that's what's in Paris over there. So I don't know, maybe he'll get it back, maybe he won't. We'll see. But it just keeps going back and forth there. So it's quite a fight going on the Western Front and on the Eastern Front and in Africa. And the Pacific is a looming fight. Like we don't know how that's going to come out. And the Chinese, they just think they're tough. Everybody knows they're not tough. Right, Dan?
Definitely not.
Hey, you're not supposed to say anything. This is our table. He's a madman, I tell you. Anyway, Dan's over here watching us play for a second. And so is Kaiser Sariona.
Just chilling.
Just chilling. Anyway, I think that's it. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to say?
That's about it.
Okay.
Wanna give
We'll be
away
back
secrets?
tomorrow morning.
Long live
Back
General
tomorrow
Hagerty.
morning. Yeah, what he said. I like that guy. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow. So thanks for joining us today. Take care, everyone. General Hand Grenade and friends out.